Ladies, gents, and everything under the sun, welcome back to another episode of the Container Podcast. Episode 3 this week. Welcome, Jackie, Kyle,
Hi.
co
What up?
hosts. We're all in the house, and today, what are we going to talk about, boys?
I guess we're gonna be talking about the new consoles.
The next generation is incoming, so we have a lot to talk about, right? We have especially the new products that's on the horizon, but we also have the people that are outside of those circles, which are the PC gamers and the people playing Nintendo. But it's gonna be pretty much around the theme of is it just a new generation or is it going to be special? What's gonna be new? What's gonna be improved? Can we really have some kind of renewed faith in gaming for people like me? Or is it going to still be approximately the same as it always been these past few years? So, yeah, Jackie, do you want to start with our first theme? What's Sony's offer?
Yeah, so the PS5 is coming this November. It releases on November 12th in the US and other countries, but for the rest of the world, the majority of countries, it releases on November 19th. The price is like 499 US for the standard edition with the disc drive, and that's the new thing now. You've got like two editions. You've got like the standard edition and you've got the digital edition without a disc drive. So you just buy your games on the PS Store, I guess. And this one is going to cost $399, so $100 less.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And,
That's like decisive for some people.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For someone that's like $12 or $13, 13 and $100 a big difference, you know.
So yeah, do you have anything else to add? Do they have launch games, right? Things that people are getting excited for?
Yeah, I guess there's like the new Spider-Man game people saw and were pretty excited about. Although it looks a bit the same as the last one, but yeah, we'll
But
see. I guess we'll see.
isn't it like not even a full game? If I
Yeah,
remember
I think
correctly, it's like a standalone DLC. So
yeah. I guess they did like kind of a Lost Legacy kind of
yeah,
game.
I guess I find that's actually pretty weak for us, like a launch for any consoles. Like they have like 4 games that they're announced, so I don't get it. I don't get why people are excited for this.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not.
that's the
Games
next
looks like
question. Yeah, are you excited for it? Because I saw some people that saw the Demon Souls remake, and it looked gorgeous. If you guys saw that, the environments, the lighting, but people were really excited about this one. It's a PS3 exclusive, and it's been remade from the ground up. So I guess that the Souls fan are really eager to play that. But are you part of them, right? Do you think that Demon Souls would be your must buy?
well, personally, no. I haven't played Demon Souls. I've played Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3, even Bloodborne, which I really enjoyed. However, I haven't played the first one, and I like the games. I finished a couple of them. However, I don't find they're like gonna make me spend $400 on a console to play that game. Like that it's not doesn't appeal to me. So that's why I'm gonna answer your question. I am not excited. I find well, actually, never mind. Let me
Yeah.
clarify. I am excited and I'm not excited. First of all, I'm not excited for the actual console. I'm probably not gonna buy it. If I do, it'll be in a year or two, if like there's exclusive that only can be played on the PS5, then sure, yeah, I'll maybe purchase it if I see those games. However, like I said, I don't see them. However, I am excited because I find that every time there's a new console generation, it brings it just heightens up the levels of the games. I'm sorry, then
I kind of get what you're saying, right? The third-party developers find themselves with more juice, so they can push.
exactly.
Yeah, and they bring
Exactly.
their A game, and they release like really good titles. I mean, I think it's pretty much the same for the PS4 when it released. It didn't have like the strong release, just like for example the Switch. But eventually like the third parties started to make some great games, and started to really exploit the power of the console, and eventually we've got some great games in the end.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that, and I I won't lie that I'm still a bit intrigued about, because having played a lot of consoles recently. I'm since I switched to PC, so we'll see there. I'm still intrigued. I've had every PlayStation except PlayStation One, and I've put in maybe hundreds and hundreds of hours on PlayStations. So I'm there's still that little part of me, that still gives a shit
Yeah.
about what they're gonna do, because you know, yeah, I want to try and be open and everything, but I'm still that little Sony fanboy since I got the PlayStation 2.
But I'm finding this very funny because we like almost wrapped up everything we kind of wanted to say without even talking about Microsoft's offer. It shows how much we're much more of Sony people, but to me, right, I'm just gonna add my little 2 cents. The PS5 is really not appealing, not in terms of the actual project, like product and the parts it has and the power it has. This is all very good, but my problem with it is simply the games, because I am someone that is also on PC, and if I want to have that very high fidelity and everything, I'm gonna play there, and I can push it further than consoles, even though now it's gonna be much harder to compete with consoles at their price range, right? At least until the price drop for the PC parts. In the future, I guess it's gonna be more and more in the advantage of the PC market. But what I meant to say by that is I would have gladly put a lot of money to play a killer app, a killer game, something like Breath of the Wild, right? Which was a game that came out on both the Wii U and the Switch at launch. But the thing is, nobody bought the Wii U, unlike everybody has a PS4. So if with that kind of formula where you have that killer game that nobody has the platform to play it, but everyone wants to play it. Like if you saw the demand for Breath of the Wild, it was crazy. The Switches were out of stock for so long, it was flying out of shelves like the Wii days, right? And that shows you that games sell consoles. And from what I see right now, they are selling more of like a promise than actual day one experience. So that's like
Yeah,
my feeling about that.
yeah, but like you speak of the games, let's just go over the list because I've got it right here.
Okay, okay.
Like I said, like there's the Spider-Man Miles Morales, the DLC game. It's not really a game, but yeah.
It
Anyway, then
is. You're so bad faith.
yeah, I mean, I expected more. It's just that I expected like maybe a Spider-Man 2 kind of thing, not a DLC, but whatever. Then oh wait for this, like you've got Astro Playroom, Astro's Playroom. Yeah, no, I'm skipping that. Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Well, That sounds just great. Then you've got Assassin's Creed, the new Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Um, I mean, we spoke earlier about how developers just bring their A game with new console, but I think that this is not a good example of that. I've looked at the gameplay and it looks awful.
It looks honestly like a PS3 title. I don't understand, and I thought
Yeah,
whatever. It's just fucking weird that it just downgraded. Like, anyways, whatever.
yeah. The animations are so weird, and you see so much bugs. It kind of has this Witcher 3 vibe. The environment and everything, but it's so awful and it's so unpolished compared to what CD Projekt Red did that yeah, it just looks awful. I don't know what they're going to do with this one, and it's still the same gameplay, still the same basic RPG Assassin's Creed. What they do since what was
Odyssey.
it called? Origins? Yeah, in
Or
Egypt.
yeah,
So yeah,
my
basically
bad.
pretty much the same. Then yeah, we talked about it like Demon Souls. Yeah, we talked about it. Then Godfall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't really know what this is, but whatever. Then you've got Watch Dogs Legion.
Yeah.
Uh, with the ability to control every NPC, which
Interesting, right?
sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds fun. I don't know what they're going to do with it. It looks better than Assassin's Creed, but yeah, I guess we'll see what happens with this one. Then you've got Dirt 5. I mean, I didn't even know there were like other Dirt, but whatever. Then you got like the new Call of Duty Black Ops, Cold War. I mean, I think in terms of Call of Duties, yeah, personally, I think I'm done with Call of Duties. I think
For life.
maybe not for life. I mean, it's always fun to just to go on the PS3 and play MW2, but
That
I
was a
guess
great game.
for the new ones, yeah, such a great game. And then you've got like the special edition of Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah. Which is
And
more games that we already have, but with slight upgrades.
yeah, I don't think that counts. That doesn't count. And pretty much the same for the next one, Fortnite, which is not really a game that I respect or anything, but yeah, I mean it's there. And then you've got Destruction All Stars.
That looks like
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. I mean, you see, like, and that's the end of the list. I mean, that's the end of the list. Everything, yeah. Well,
Okay.
nothing too appealing in that list.
I'm sorry, it just really doesn't look good. I was like, when I read that, I was like, oh, like that All-Star, that fighting game. I enjoyed that one. I was like, let me Google it, and I went. I watched the trailer. I was like, what the hell is this? It's just cars running around and like people with. It looked just so dumb. I was like, nah, forget that. Bye bye.
So
yeah,
I think you
yeah,
did the whole list, right?
Yeah, this is the PS5 launch games.
You know what I would like to do? Go get what are the PS4 launch games.
That would be
yeah.
a cool comparison, yeah.
And compare and see like what came out, what was there, like.
I don't know if
I
you
remember
have them
there
like
was,
right in your hand, but I have the Xbox offer, so if we want to move on to that and then compare, because I don't think there are many exclusives, to be honest.
There was Knack though.
Yeah,
but you see what I mean. It's mostly third-party games that bolster that launch lineup.
Yeah. Well, there was, I guess there was whatchamacallit, that infamous game there.
Second Son.
Yeah, Second, which I really liked. I thought it was a really good game, and that's what was the first time I played a game that I went like, oh, okay, we left the PS3, like we are in PS4 now. Like I saw a really big jump, I find.
Yeah, I mean those particle effects, that was the thing that really surprised me.
Yeah, so there was also Killzone. There was a couple, But yeah, you're right. They're mostly the third-party games.
Yeah. So let's move on to Microsoft. Microsoft also has two consoles to launch with, and it's going to be the Xbox Series X for whopping $499, and the Xbox Series S for $299, which is a lot cheaper. And the reason why is because it's going, instead of sacrificing only the disc, it's actually going to have a weaker GPU, and it's going to target games up to a resolution of 1440p. So it's not the 4K machine that you would buy with Xbox Series X.
So
Yeah,
sorry, I have a question for that.
yeah.
So any new Xbox game you buy, you'll be able to play them on both of them.
Yeah, you
It's just
will.
that one will be a bit more downgraded.
Exactly. And
Okay.
also another kind of big difference is the fact that instead of having a 1 terabyte hard drive SSD in your Xbox Series X, you have a 512 gigabyte SSD in your Xbox Series S. And with the size of the games today, I think it's going to be quickly a problem, but we'll see. They said that they will mandate the developers to send builds that have lower resolution textures, because let's face it, right? Your console can only do 1440p. Why would you put huge 4K textures in the builds for the Xbox Series X S? My bad. SX kind of sounds the same, but they are absolutely not the same. So that's the price point and the core differences, right? In terms of specs, the Xbox Series X is going to be close to the PS5, but a little bit more performant, or it will perform a little bit better. It has 16 gigs of GDDR6 for RAM, 12 teraflops, Zen 2 architecture, 8-core CPU. It has that Blu-ray drive, right? The 4K, 120 frames per second, ray tracing, just like the PS5, but it should at least beat it consistently a little bit. So that's in terms of specs. And then in terms of games, it launches with 12 minutes. I don't know what this game is. Call of the Sea. Shout out to that game. I still don't know what it is. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Control Ultimate Edition. That's a game that already exists, right? It's going to be an upgrade with ray tracing and everything. Crossfire X. Dead Static Drive, Everwild, Exo Ones, Immortals, Phoenix Rising. Comes out December 3rd. It's not exactly at launch. By the way, it's gonna launch, I forgot about the date, November 10th, 2020. Same date for the Series S. And let's go back to the games. Lake, Last Stop, Mad Streets, Outriders, Overcooked, All You Can Eat. Shoutouts to Overcooked. Planet Coaster, Console Edition, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, Rainbow Six Siege, Recompile.
Oh,
You like that game, right?
I like that game, Rainbow Six Siege. Gotta.
I don't know how they made it live for that many years, but shoutouts to them. New operators, new maps, gameplay changes, and the people are still playing it. I guess you guys are happy with the game.
I mean, 5 years. It's quite something for a Ubisoft game.
Especially.
Yeah, continue.
Recompile, Sable, Scorn, Shredders, Song of Iron, The Artful Escape, The Ascent, Big Con, The Medium, Tunic, Unexplored 2, The Wayfarer's Legacy, WRC9. That's the list, the whole list. But those were the games that were coming like around and that were mostly like not too much like interesting. The meat, Assassin's Creed Valhalla, just like PS5, Dirt 5, just like PS5, DMC 5 Special Edition, just like PS5. You see, it's a theme, right? FIFA 21, Fortnite, Marvel's Avengers, NBA 2K21. It keeps on coming, right? Watchdog Legion. But then you have Gears 5, which is an old game but upgraded for the Series X exclusive. You have a Yakuza game. I don't know if it's going to be, I think it's a third-party Yakuza, right? And not much exclusive, right? Like, I don't see it. Samurai Spirits fighting game, I think. Yeah, that's
But
about it. So
I'm actually, I think, more excited about the Xbox than the PlayStation.
I know, man, it's the first
No,
time.
why?
The reason is because it's not about just the actual console, but what I like about it is that Microsoft, they learned, I think they learned their lesson the last console generation, right? Where you can say they lost, right?
Oh,
And
they lost all right at the start. They lost.
yeah, and even now, I think that PS4 out. Anyways, point is that they lost, and they saw that they didn't have any exclusive. Like every time, I would be like, okay, I'll give a look. They didn't have an exclusive, so I was like, well, fuck that. I'm not gonna buy that for games that I couldn't play either on my PS4 or my computer.
Yep.
But now, recently, maybe I think a month or a couple weeks ago, they announced that they bought Bethesda
Big news.
and that they bought this other company, and anyways, and all of that. I was like, oh, okay. So I think they maybe learned their lesson that they didn't have any games, so they went and bought big companies, smaller companies, and whatnot, and they're maybe going to try to push forward that hey, let's games is what sells the console, right?
Yeah.
Who cares about the console? People care about the games. So if it's there, then cool. So that's why I think I'm more interested right now in the short term, maybe like the next year or two, about Xbox, because I want to see what all that money that they put in, what they're gonna do with it.
Just as a
I'm excited
reminder,
for that.
it was $7.5 billion.
Difference?
No. The acquisition of Bethesda.
Oh yeah, sure.
And when
Ah,
they
so-
acquired that studio, they acquired all of its intellectual properties. All of the IPs are now Microsoft's, so they can do so much.
Exactly. So that I find that's exciting, and also even for me that will maybe not I buy an Xbox. Half of the games, or even more than half, I'd say 80%. Well, Microsoft is putting them on PC, and they have this little thing called Xbox Game Pass there.
We gotta
I think
talk about it.
It's
Yeah, continue.
$5, and you get all those games. That's not bad. And I think I saw an article either I think it's next month or the month after that. I think it's maybe December. Sorry, where EA the pass that they have for all
EA
their games,
Access, yeah.
EA Access is gonna be in Microsoft Game Pass now.
Huge.
So if you have the Microsoft Game Pass, you're gonna be able to play every single EA game. That's quite big, and yeah, it's EA, but they do have good games. So That's interesting.
They do have popular games, games you want to play with your friends because everybody buys EA, right?
Exactly. So, it's cool to see. I'm like, okay, Xbox, I like competition, Yes, I am a Sony fanboy, but I like competition because the competition brings, more money invested in games. So that's cool.
I hope so, to be honest. I'm just gonna transition quickly to the Game Pass. It's fresh in our memories. We were just talking about it. And a special offer that Microsoft is doing for their new consoles, both of them. It's called Xbox All Access. This is the first time in my life that I've heard of such a thing. You can finance your console. You heard it well. For $34.99 per month for 24 months, with no upfront cost, you get an Xbox Series X and 24 months of Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. And for $24.99 per month for 24 months, no upfront costs, you get the Xbox Series S and 24 months of Game Pass Ultimate. That means that every month you pay that fee, let's say 35 per month, and you have the most powerful console on the market and a slew of game, everything you could wish for. Every launch of a first party game for Xbox or EA, you have the game day one. And you paid for it. It's yours, right? But all of these games are not available to you after that 24th month. You'd have to renew your subscription to access them. So you don't ever own, you benefit from the subscription, right? That's the idea. What do you guys think about that?
I
I'm just
I don't
gonna add
know.
some math, right? In the end, I think you'll save about 20 bucks, 20 or 40 bucks by choosing to finance it that way than buying upfront your Xbox and the Game Pass for 24 months. So yeah, those are the last couple of details.
I don't know. What do you think?
How, Jackie, you've been silent.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the Netflix for gaming. I guess that if you consume games uh, often, I guess it's a good thing. Yeah, of course, you never own the game and anything, but games cost a lot of money these days.
And they'll
So
cost more now.
yeah, well,
That's
anyway,
another
so
subject.
yeah, that's another topic. Yeah, well, I remember when I was younger, it was I used to go to like EB Games or even Walmart, and you would just go to the game part, and I think it cost like maybe 50. And one time I saw that it was now at 60, and I was like, oh, that yeah, they just the prices are getting higher and higher. And now what is it? This like $80, $70?
Yeah,
70,
80.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
Well,
you see.
79.99.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you see. So I mean, for someone plays maybe like one game, two games per year, maybe it's not worth it. But I think that when you want to try games and when you're playing and like it's part of your entertainment, your weekly entertainment, I think it's a really good deal. But it's a new approach. Yeah, we're not used to it. But like I said, it's just like Netflix. At the beginning, everyone was maybe freaking out a bit, but in the end, now we're all on Netflix. So.
Yeah, or using some friend's Netflix account. So, shoutouts to Kyle. What I wanted to add about that Game Pass, right, is that the list is huge. The list encompasses every single first-party game for Microsoft and every third-party game from EA, and a lot of third-party games from all across the world. Japanese studios, Western studios, and I don't believe somebody can feasibly beat all of these games, right? It's just like too much content. I won't say most of it, but a good part of it is uninteresting. Like not everyone wants to play all this, so you'd have to go ahead and look at the catalog and make the choice for yourself. But I think it's the future. Like, I think Microsoft right now is the most forward-thinking company on the scene. Would you guys agree to that?
Maybe when you look at them, like for their marketing, maybe, and yeah, for their like the way they think for sales. But like Kyle said, I'm very excited for the Xbox because they've just bought Bethesda, and they have learned a lesson, and now they're going to improve and get more exclusives. But I don't know. I just keep in mind that when you look at Sony, maybe they don't have any maybe they have some lessons to learn, but right now they're on the top of their game. This was not intended, but whatever. But we've got for the PS4, we've got like Horizon Zero Dawn. We've got like the Uncharted 4, Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, God of War, and now we know that the next Horizon is on the way. You see that the next God of War is on the way, and I don't know. It looks like they have found the formula to make good games, and they're companies that they have bought, like the Studio Santa Monica or Naughty Dog. I don't know. It seems like they know what they're doing, and as long as they're going to keep making good games, I don't know if Xbox, whether they're thinking forward or whatever, I don't think it's going to save them. In the end, if Sony continues to make such great games, I don't think it's going to make a difference if they're forward thinkers.
What's the best-selling PS4 exclusive? Is it Uncharted 4?
Exclusive? Yeah, I think it's Uncharted 4.
How many did it sell?
I want to say 60 million, but I'm not sure.
60?
16.
16, yeah.
16.
How many PS4s have been sold? What's the install base?
I have no idea.
We can safely say it's over 100 million, I think.
Let me check. 112 million.
Yeah, it's even more than I thought. So 16 million, guys. I don't know if you realize, but it's really not a lot of copies. So
yeah, but I don't know if
know if you guys are like truly understanding how much that means in this current climate. Like, is it really that's selling PS5s? I don't know, guys. Like, when I see Nintendo,
but there's
and their install base,
looking at it
and the ratio for their Mario game or their Zelda game or their Smash Bros, it's like over 50% of the install base has these games. And you'll tell me, yeah, they buy the console for Zelda, for Pokemon, for Mario, but aren't you using the same argument for Sony? Why are the numbers so low? I think it's because it's games like FIFA, like Call of Duty, like Madden, like NBA 2K that sell the console, and that the deciding factors for people might not be the exclusive anymore, at least for these consoles. That's how I see it.
But you see, I think you're still wrong on that. I still think that even if exclusive maybe is not, a lot of people who own PS4 and don't own those games, I still think they have a benefit because let's say me, I have to choose, right? Xbox or PlayStation. And I'm like, okay, they both have all these games, FIFA, whatever, blah blah blah. After you look at those two and you go, okay, they have the same games, and then you go, what are the exclusive? And then you see some and you're going, oh well, the PlayStation ones look more interesting. Just more interesting. Doesn't mean, hey, I'm gonna go buy it.
I see what you mean.
And then that person just buys PlayStation, and then this is where I think it builds on it. You only have let's say you have a couple that go to PlayStation. They're like, yeah, we're going with Sony. Well, their friends are gonna go and buy PlayStations also, because why would they be on Xbox if they can't play with their friends that are on PlayStation?
That's why we need crossplay.
Of course, and it's slowly getting there through, Rocket League, what is it, Call of Duty, Modern Warfare. So it's slowly coming, but for now, it's still, most games don't have it. So that's why, it's still going to be more attractive to have exclusive games, because you're like, well, if I have the other one, I can have those games. And
Yeah.
you compare both of them. One has Forza, the other one has The Last of Us. Which one do I prefer? So
Nah, you gotta say one has Forza, the other has Gran Turismo. That's how you
Yeah, but I don't think there's a Gran Turismo that came out on the PS4, did it? Maybe
Every PlayStation has its Gran Turismo.
For real?
Yeah, but anyway, it's a racing game, so
You're so evil with that one.
no, but I mean,
yeah,
okay,
you're right. There was a Gran Turismo. My bad.
But yeah, maybe like the people listening to this will give us their comments in the comment section. But me, I think that people, the way they look at it, they just go, okay, I want to play on the TV. I want to play on a console, so I've got to choose. Because of course there's like the whole PC and buying a Switch argument, but we'll get to that later. But for the people saying, well, I want to play like my FIFA, I want to play my Red Dead Redemption, I want to play my Grand Theft Auto, whatever, they just say, okay, well, I have to choose now between the PlayStation or the Xbox. And this is why when you look at FIFA and when you look at Madden and the all the sports games that come out every year, and the Call of Duties and the Grand Theft Auto that are on all the consoles, this is why they're selling the best, because this is what people usually play. But when it comes to choosing on which console you're going to play it, I think it's in part. Well, I think the biggest part comes from looking at the exclusives. You look at the games that are only playable on one console, and you say, well, now I have to choose. And that's why I think their numbers are lower. And then you, as Kyle said, I think that's also a real thing when you've got like a couple of friends and one of them or two of them buy themselves a PS4, then I think the other ones are going to play on the PS4 as well.
Domino effect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I can see the point being made, right? I don't really care, to be honest. It's not like I'm ready to die on whoever's console manufacturer's hill. They are making so much money on our backs doing shady stuff, so I don't really give too much importance to that. But in the end, like, everyone does what they want to do, and that's about it. If I had to choose day one which console I want to buy right now, I would go with Xbox. But I could see my response changing with the future, just like Kyle said, based on the exclusive that could be coming to PlayStation.
But why though? Why would you choose Xbox?
Because it's in the Microsoft ecosystem.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And if I get the Xbox and the Game Pass, I'll have access to their games on my PC and on my Xbox. And depending on where life has me, right? I have a very cool and good desktop PC, but it's less portable than an Xbox One X, right? Xbox One Series X. I could see myself taking my Series X to a friend's place or something, but not my PC, right? And I just have to hook it up to the Wi-Fi, and we have the access to all these games, right? And we can play and we can have the
Well, that's
highest
another thing.
graphical
What
fidelity.
happens if you don't have any Wi-Fi?
That would be, I would have to see, right? I really don't have an idea how the DRM works, the protection, how it verifies if you are currently an active subscriber or not, but I really don't know. I said connect to the Wi-Fi to make sure that it will work, right? But that's a problem of modernity, right? And DRM. The fact that you have everything you need to play, but it simply doesn't work. You have to install a day one update, or you have to connect it to the internet to authenticate or something like that.
Yeah, I mean it's all right. I mean it's probably yeah, it's unlikely that you will be in some place where you don't have Wi-Fi when you play video games. But yeah,
We never know, right? That's why I like the old consoles. The fact that I can just put my disc in and play, no need to install or anything. Because to me, if I have physical media support, I should be able to plug and play. If not,
Yeah.
why don't I just download the thing, right? And just buy the plastic box for $2. I don't need the DVD. It's useless almost.
Mm.
But you know.
Yeah, personally, I'm more excited for the PS5. Well, I think you know it, but me, I'm just such a fan of the games that we've got on the PS4. As I said, like The Last of Us, Uncharted, God of War, and Horizon Zero Dawn. So
Yeah, I
I'm
think,
really excited
and they confirmed
for
you
those
have
games.
sequels, right? So you're
Yeah,
excited to
they've
see.
teased. Yeah, they've already teased the next God of War, and we know that there's going to be a second Horizon Zero Dawn. And
So yeah,
well, I mean, Miles Morales is a disappointment, but whatever. I mean,
it's still
next time maybe.
content, right?
Yeah, it's still content. I mean, I'll probably play it in the end if one day I buy the console, because for now, for sure, I won't buy it now.
Yeah, for the people that don't know, right? We're all mostly Sony. Like if I had to do a little historic of my past, my first home console was the PS1, and since then I've owned every Sony console up until the PS Vita and the PS4. So those are the two Sony consoles I don't have and I don't plan to have unless life somehow gives me a good opportunity to get it for cheap or something, or I don't know, you know. And the PS5, same thing. I'm like, yeah, I simply don't see why I would invest in a console, period. And that includes Sony and that includes Microsoft since I've made the switch to PC. So I think now we can talk about it, right? People like us that are on PC, do we have an incentive to buy Xbox or buy PlayStation? Do you think that it's gaining some interest or losing interest with this new generation?
I don't know. I would have to think about that.
Yeah, because let's be honest, right? In the PS2 days, if you didn't have a PS2, I don't know what you were doing, man. All the good games were on that platform. And that's what I mean, right?
I didn't own a PS2. I didn't own a PS2. I'm just going to say it right now.
You're
I didn't have a
crazy, man.
PS2.
You're crazy.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah,
most
but
sold console of all time. How did you not get it?
yeah, well, I started playing late video games. Like my first console was the GameCube,
Yeah.
and basically when I was young, I was just playing Mario Kart and Zelda. These were my two games. This
I
is
mean,
what I started with.
those two games are better than 80% of the PlayStation library, but we won't
Yeah,
talk
well,
about
there you
that.
go. There you go. So yeah,
So,
no, I didn't have a PS2.
but it had like that 20%. Boy, it was some good stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like exclusive games that were incredible of quality and of ingenuity. A lot of new games, new takes on genres that already existed. The start of online play, it was very difficult to get online. I never really played online, but it was possible. SOCOM, I think, and some other games had it. Uh, but yeah, so I think it lessened with time. I think that the PS3 still had some cool exclusives, some like things that weren't on PC. But since the PS4, man, every Japanese studio has been doing PS4 and PC. Always, like never like the old days where it was just on the PS4. Just like FF16, right? The new Final Fantasy. It said console exclusive. What does that mean? It's pretty clear to me.
Yeah, but I still think having a PC is your safest bet that you will have access to most of everything. And here and there will be a game or two you're not going to be able to play. But if at one point you just decide, like, okay, let's say the PS5, it's been 4 years that it came out, and the new Xbox, and you're looking and you go, okay, all right, I'm in the last 3 years, there's been 4 or 5 PlayStation games that are exclusives that I couldn't play beforehand. Let me go for that. But if you have a PC, there's not many games, I'd even say none, that you can't play from the Xbox on the PC.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that later on, in like I don't know, 2-3 years, I'll look at, oh, what are the games that came out that I wasn't able to play? Are they any good? Yeah. Okay, let me start looking for sales and then buy the PlayStation 5.
I
I don't
think
think I'm going to be buying that Xbox because, like I said, I
with
have a
time it's gonna
computer.
be less and less interesting. Yeah, you're right.
So we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited. I am. I know I said in the beginning I wasn't, but I'm excited just to see that there's going to be a leap. I know there's going to be a leap. There's been a leap every single console generation, and a big leap. Not so hopefully we're gonna see what's in store for us.
I really hope they don't start targeting 4K and sacrificing the frame rate. I'm tired of 30 FPS. I want 60 base and I want them to push for 120. But the reason I'm saying this is because if the if the attention is driven towards that, to me, it is gameplay beneficial more than visually beneficial. And that's one major thing that a gripe that I have is games like Bloodborne. They look amazing, but why do they run at 30 frames per second? And the answer is simple. You can't have that visual fidelity and 60 frames per second with the parts they had. If
But
they
do you need like
remade
60 frames?
what?
Do you need 60 frames?
Of course you
Yes.
need 60 frames. That's what we're saying, right? I even a turn-based RPG where you're like, who needs a 60 FPS? I would like to have it, but that's just me. It's a very, very bad example. But Bloodborne, you're uh, doing some evades on very tight attacks. You're trying to time your offense and then backing off. You're trying, you right. It's very timing sensitive. And
Yeah,
if I
but it's not
have
like
twice as
fighting
many,
game sensitive.
it is kind of like fighting games.
I don't
Do you
know. I
like
mean,
fighting games at 30 FPS? Do you know many fighting games at 30
no,
FPS?
no, but I'm not saying that for a fighting game. I'm saying that like for something like Bloodborne, or you've got a lot of games that you don't need 60 FPS. I think it's better for some games just to look better, than to have a better frame rate.
If your game is turn-based or a walking simulator, I can give you that 100%. If not, 60 FPS is a must, man.
I do agree with that. 60 is the minimum. Like lower than 60, I can see when it like when it cuts. It's not fluid. It's not interesting. It's not precise.
Are we watching
So
a movie or playing a game, Kyle?
a game. So,
No, but I mean, you don't need it all the time. I mean, it's not for every game. I think there are some games where you need to have the 60 FPS, but there are some games you don't need it. I mean, if you play, I don't know, Rainbow Six Siege, or you play a fighting game, I understand why it's important to have your 60 FPS. But if you're playing like a game like The Witcher or Zelda Breath of the Wild, I don't think you need the 60 FPS to see a large difference.
But I would gladly take it.
I think it should just be the norm now.
Yeah, we're in
upgrading.
2020, man. We have 12 teraflops. Push 60 FPS, please.
Like I honestly sacrifice being from 8K to 4K, okay, for that 30 FPS more. I play on PC. I have my monitor at 144 hertz. I'm used to that now. So when I'm going and playing games and I see it's 30 FPS, you can see it. I mean, you get used to it, but you still there's still there that little thing in the back of your mind going like, it'd be better if it would be 60 FPS.
And that's what I was talking to Jackie about. It's like it's good that you got used to that. But in the end, it's just not a convenience, an inconvenience, and you got used to it, right? It's like, hey, I broke your leg. You still can jump on the other one, right? And then you're like, yeah, man, I can totally live my life with just one leg. And I'm like, yeah, so live your life with just one leg. Be happy. No, bro, give me 2 legs. That's what I want.
I don't think that's a good example because you've got some video games where there are like a lot of cinematics and it's story driven, and you've got it's not a movie, but it looks like a movie. And I think if you put it at 60 FPS, sometimes it looks weird. It doesn't look as movie-like as it should.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? It means I think there's something. I mean, when you play a game where it's very well gameplay focused and you don't have any cinematics and cutscenes or whatever, then I think, yeah, all right, you can have it at 60 FPS. But there are some games that I don't know. It looks weird. It looks. I don't want to say, but it looks too fluid.
My heart skipped a beat, man.
I agree with you when for example an actual camera is filming, for example, somebody walking in the street. It's weird, right? It doesn't seem real. So I like that low frame rate when I'm watching videos. However, with video games, I find it's not at all the same thing. I find the smoother it is, the better it looks. No exception. No exception. And that's why. Look, I'll give you also an example. Playing that new game there, Among Us. If you don't have VSync on your computer, it caps it to 30 FPS. But if you put VSync, for whatever reason, it will go to
your refresh rate.
Exactly. And just a little difference from a little game like Among Us, which is
super
don't need
simplistic.
Exactly. You don't need much FPS, but as soon as I unlocked that and it went up, it was just like, ooh, this is much more smooth. It's just much more enjoyable.
You were like, now I understand the definition of schmoving.
Yeah, exactly. So
all right, I'll give it a try. I'll see. Maybe Among Us is a good example because like Among Us, you don't need like the 60 FPS, but maybe it's a good difference.
It's just
That-
that
that's
feels
enjoyable.
better.
tiny little difference that just like, I don't know, it's like I don't know how to describe it. Just like it appeases you, you know, like okay, this is I forgot. I got into my old ways. This is where we're at with
Yeah.
not 30 FPS. You know, like 30 FPS was fine when on PlayStation 2 and everything, but now it's like, nah, I need more.
Guys, in the 80s, they were playing on CRTs, Super Mario Bros, and it was 60 FPS.
There you go.
And it was amazing because CRTs have zero delay because of the way they shoot light, and the feeling of gameplay of that time has been lost with flat panels coming in and games pushing now for more visual fidelity over frame rate. And people that buy these games, they're like, yes, this is what we want. And then the, how do we say, the studies, the marketing notices that, yeah, they don't care. We can push more and more like this, and that's what's selling for us, right? But to me, people don't really know what they want. They really want 60 FPS, but they don't even know. They're like, I can't see the difference. Bro, you can see. Give yourself a chance.
Yeah, 30 to 60 is just, you can't compare. Like 60 to 144, you're like, wow, like that. Wow, that's just pleasant. You know, it's very enjoyable. But 30 to 60 is just night and day for me. I guess I'm just used to, since I've been playing on PC for a while. That it's just that, you know, that
Yeah.
constant 60 FPS and even more. So that's cool, you know.
We have a game right on PS3 and 360 called Dragon Ball Z Burst Limit, and this game is a fighting game capped at 30 FPS. On PC, there is an emulator that lets you influence how many FPS you want to push. And you can toggle with the press of a button between 30 and your refresh rate. For me, it's 60. It is incredible. Incredible. You're like, oh my god, the game should have shipped like that. There is no way people have been playing this for years at 30 FPS. You're like, I can't see myself playing it any other way now. So I really believe that even for games that have that cinematic, like The Last of Us, that you guys rave about, right? When you play it at 60, you're like, bro, cinematic or not, this is a way better experience.
I
I
agree.
would have to see it.
Okay.
I think, yeah, you'll see. You'll see when games go to a steady 60, and then you decide, hey, you know what? Let me go try and uh, and see, just replay an old game, and then you'll be like, ooh, okay, this is the difference. It's like when you decide, hey, I want to play an older game, or there's a free game that comes, whatever, and you decide to play an old one. You see the difference. You feel it, like just any old PlayStation 1 game or whatnot. You just go, ooh, look how far it evolved. So
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
well, I did it. I think it was not this summer. Well, I think it was like 2 summers ago. But I did like an Uncharted marathon, and I started playing the very first game. It's like the remastered version on PS4, and it all runs at 60 FPS.
mm-hmm.
So you go through like the three first Uncharted, and it's like 60 FPS. I don't know, like what's
Resolution, it's
the
probably
resolution.
1080p.
Yeah, probably. And then I jumped to Uncharted 4, and the graphics in Uncharted 4 are amazing. But as soon as I started playing and moving the camera around, I was not feeling comfortable.
There you go. So you
But
remember that.
yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Yeah. Uh,
And
in
then,
game,
like 30 minutes afterwards, you forgot about it.
yeah, exactly.
That's what we
Mm.
But
mean. Like, it's you can get used to it, but is it for the best? For like, do you think you had a better experience at 30?
I don't know. I would have to see like it's all about the cutscenes. I think the transition between the cutscenes and the gameplay, it's different. But I
Like
guess I
in
would have to see.
PS5, you'll have Uncharted 4, 60 FPS, or even they'll push for 120. Who knows? And you'll probably buy it, and you'll play it, and you'll see, and you'll be like, "Yeah, bro, I was saying some bullshit."
Yeah, go. All right, all right,
No, it's okay. It's okay. I respect you, Jackie.
all
We
Yeah.
right.
can move on maybe to the last giant in the video game industry, a relic of the past, the ancestor, Nintendo. Nintendo that's been having actually a pretty good rise lately. They
Yeah.
disappeared from the face of the earth with the Wii U. Nobody bought that. It was
A good console though.
one of their worst commercial failures of their history. But it had an idea, right? It was called asymmetric gameplay, which means to have a game play two different ways at the same time, interact with each other. And it was through the tablet and the screen, the TV. And it gave you opportunities that no other console could pull off, not even Nintendo's own successor console. You could have, let's say you were playing Wind Waker, Zelda. You could have your map in inventory in your hands on the tablet, drag and drop, point, draw, and have the game, the character, the ocean, the boat, everything on the screen in front of you. So you were sailing and micromanaging on your tablet and doing both things at the same time. No need to press start or anything. Everything is there. It's actually pretty genius, but
I just gotta say, I cannot believe that they put in the trash this whole playing with the gamepad and the game, all this idea for Breath of the Wild that they had with the map and
yeah,
saying where
yeah,
you were going and everything, and they put all this in the trash just for the Switch version. I
yeah.
cannot believe they did this. It
Because
still
if
hurts.
because if they hadn't, the Wii U version would have been superior, in my opinion. But that's just me, right? So
I would have been fine with it. I would have been fine with it.
so Nintendo launches that new console called the Nintendo Switch in 2017 with a huge game that really surprised everyone. And I'm not talking just about consumers. I'm talking about game developers because their jaw was completely broken and touched the floor. So much so that they copied the heck out of it. Now every game you have to be able to climb everywhere. Now every game you have to have a less cluttered map. You have to offer more natural traversal of your overworld to make you
I think.
feel like they. Yeah, continue, Jackie.
Well, I just wanted to say, I think it's safe to say that we're going to have at least one episode on this game.
What?
Like
Yeah,
one,
it deserves its
yeah,
own.
on this game alone because it's such a revolution, and maybe it's the game of the decade. I don't. What do you think? What do you gotta say? What have you gotta say?
I have to say that it changed open worlds forever, and what's crazy is that it did mostly what the others did, but changed a couple of things, right? It's not like everything changed. Like I just said, the basis was there, but the changes they made, it made every other open world obsolete. You're like, bro, this experience is trash in comparison.
Up to
To
today, up
yeah,
to
yeah.
today, I've gotta say.
So, and then they were like, yo, back to the drawing boards. We gotta do something, man. We gotta work with everything that they showed us, physics-based interactions like the fire and everything. Okay, let's shut up about Breath of the Wild, but the game was so good that it sold that console. It sold it well. It started very, very, very well, and it continued on selling. It had Mario Kart, Smash, and everything. People were excited for Nintendo's new
The
console.
same year they released Mario Odyssey.
That's true. That's true.
What a great year!
And Xenoblade 2, but nobody talks about that game. I loved it.
Yeah. Don't speak about that here, please.
Okay. So yeah, that what I wanted to add about that marketing genius was that the fact they were absent from, let's say, 2011 to 2017 from the home console space, because let's be honest, nobody saw the Wii U. Nobody thought about the Wii U. It didn't even exist in most people's mind. So they were like, bro, it's been so long I haven't played Nintendo. And they see this and they're like, yo, I gotta hop on that. I think that's mostly what happened. It goes well for them, okay? They start in 2017 selling this console. And 2017, PS4 and Xbox One are still alive and well and selling well and doing their things. But Nintendo, in some sort, started a new generation, even though it was less powerful than the console that were already on the market. It was something new for them, and I think that we can say that it started this generation, the generation of the PS5. Would you agree, guys, or not? You would put the Switch as a past generation console?
Well, I think the Switch is not part really of it's like in both. So
I
it's
see
an
what you mean, yeah.
old and new console. It's just like it has potential to keep on going, but I find Nintendo is like it's always been like, all right, Xbox play is Sony, and you're like, okay, they're and when they come out, always close. You know, their consoles every couple of years. It's them together
Yeah.
unveiling their consoles, and PC is also on its like own little stuff. But I find Nintendo is on the other side of the fucking planet. And Nintendo, they do their own shit whenever they want. They don't care about the rest, or what that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So it's just they're never in a console generation. They're always just on the side, and
I see what you mean.
They do their own stuff.
My next question was, do you see them launching a new console for like to respond to the launch of these consoles? Like next year we'll see Nintendo's new project.
Exactly.
You think it's gonna be that?
I hope not. Personally, I hope not, because I'm waiting for Breath of the Wild 2, like the sequel, and I hope it's going to be on the Switch because they're moving too fast.
I mean, too fast. 2017. It's 3 years back, man.
Yeah, but I mean, they could wait. They could wait.
But I think they're gonna wait. I don't think they're gonna do it because I think the Switch is doing very well now.
Yeah.
And they know that they can continue, and so I know they're gonna be announcing like a new Switch there, Switch 2 or something like that, where it's like just a better version. Correct me if I'm wrong there, but that's what
nothing official has been confirmed.
Yeah, nothing official, but I think we've heard rumors that they're preparing a new Switch with better quality.
I wouldn't be able to say if that Switch will have its exclusive games because it's that much more powerful, but to be seen.
No,
right?
I don't think so. I think it'll be, for example. No, I'm just giving a random example, but Witcher, right? It came on Switch, right?
It did.
Okay, exactly. It was a massive downgrade. You could see it, in the comparison videos, like without a doubt.
But it runs.
However, exactly. But it does run, exactly. So, props to the Switch, but it's still the shittier version to play on. So I think what they're maybe gonna do if they have a more powerful Switch. It's just okay. Well, we're gonna develop a game like Witcher, same quality, but on PC for the Switch 2, and it'll still run on the original Switch, but it won't be as amazing. So
Just like the Xbox Series S and Series X.
exactly.
Okay.
So I think I think that's the route they're gonna be going for, because they don't want to switch right now. They have a big fan base, and it's been growing and growing and growing for the Switch. They're selling more and more and more. So I think they're not gonna abandon those and just go, okay, next project. No. The for Wii U it didn't work out. That's why they're going, okay, next project. But for the Switch it's working very well. So they're going like, okay, well let's take care of this generation, and let's
Yeah.
let's try to push those sales even more.
The Wii U went on for 5 years, but I could see the Switch go on for 7, let's say.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, and I think it was last year that they released like the new version, like the Switch that you cannot put on your TV,
Light.
like it's
Yeah,
the Switch Lite, only portable.
Yeah, but they also had not an official Switch 2, but there's the new version where it has a bit more battery and little upgrades. That's the one I have.
They made it principally to get rid of the hardware exploit to hack, because the first batch of Switches, like about the first year, they all had a vulnerability that made it so that people could hack the Switch no matter the updates they do, because the problem is inside. It's the hardware, it's not the firmware. So yeah, they were losing on sales and probably on trust from developers that were scared to invest in a console that's vulnerable, but they fixed it pretty fast. So now these vulnerabilities have been patched, and people will need to search for older Switch if they want to go and exploit it for themselves.
Well,
it's all very interesting, like to see how you have two giants in the ring fighting it out, as Sony and Microsoft do, and you have that third guy that's in the stands selling its stuff to the people, right? And they're making bucks, man. They're making money, but they're not in the ring. They're not fighting that fight. They're fighting a different fight. And do you think that they have a chance to survive like this for much longer?
If they keep on coming out with stuff like the Switch, I think they're gonna continue on and on and on. I think
even in this time of
I still think so, because I'll give you an example.
People playing on their phones, right?
I've never been a big Nintendo guy. I had the DS, and that was about it.
Everyone had the DS, just like the PS2.
But it was a great. I loved it, right? But I never
Jackie,
continued.
Right? You had both the DS and the PS2.
I had the DS. I didn't have the PS2.
Oh, thank God! I was about to say.
Yeah, I had the DS. Draw and everything on.
Okay,
no, but
continue.
It was a cool console. But after that, I like, quote unquote, grew up, right? And I was like, ugh, nah, those are kids' games, right?
Yeah.
And they are, right? But that's not a bad thing, that they're kids' games. They're fun. And I hadn't touched Nintendo stuff since I was 7-8 years, and then recently, my girlfriend was just talking like, oh, Mario Kart. They had the new thing on the phone.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and I'm like, and then I started looking more into the Switch, and then she learned that I was looking to it, and she was like, yo, let's buy one. So we split it, and now we have a Switch.
Genius.
And I mean, I get to play stuff that I've never played, like Smash. I've never ever played. I played here and there, but never more than a couple hours. And I haven't played Mario Kart in years, and the new Pokemon. So just I'm rediscovering these old franchises that I hadn't played in years,
Yeah.
and even new ones. Like my girlfriend, she started playing Animal Crossing, and fuck, she's played dozens and dozens and dozens of hours, and it just I look at her play sometimes, and I'm just like, all right, that's new. Like I was never in contact with that, but it's interesting because it's you're I'm learning old, like past old games and new ones that I never knew. So I find
Yeah.
it's
I
it's
heard
a
about that
terrific
Animal
console.
Crossing addiction.
It's bad. Don't let you don't play it too much because you'll just hook on, and then you'll be saying, hey, let's put an alarm clock at 6 a.m. on a Sunday because that's when the turnip lady comes to the island and you
Oh
can
my
buy this
god.
special plant, and you're like, yeah, fuck that. I'm not putting my so so it's I really like the console. I think it's gonna continue. Like we've been saying, I think it's in a different league of its own. It's not trying to steal the people that play, NHL or NBA or even single player games like The Last of Us and everything. It does its own thing, and it does it well. It just
Yeah, I
it's
think that's the main point.
anytime you have people over, you don't know what to do. Want to play some Mario Kart?
Yeah.
Never ever ever has someone said, "Nah, I don't feel like it." It's like, yeah, sure, let's go, let's play some Mario Kart. So that's why it's an excellent console, and I think it's gonna continue on its own little path and be successful.
What about you, Yanni? Jackie? What do you have to say about it?
Uh,
Let me just
I mean,
rephrase that, right? And I'm
yeah,
gonna make a
rephrase it. Yeah,
cut.
go ahead. All right.
What about you, Jackie? What do you think about the console?
Maybe one day I'll get one. I mean, I've been waiting to buy one because it's so damn expensive. Every time I look at the price, I'm like, nah, it's still too expensive.
Yeah,
But
well, it
yeah,
is steep, I find. And then you want to buy another controller, it's $100, and then this and this.
$100 for the Pro controller.
Mhm. And
Feels
just the
bad, man.
and just the Joy Cons are 100.
Yeah.
yeah, it's so expensive. But yeah, when I look at the games, and I think pretty much the same thing as you guys. It's just that they're doing their own thing, and they're doing it well, and they've, you know, maybe it's kids game, but it's just that they really their philosophy of saying like we're making fun games is really working out. Is I think it's just that they're just like so focused on making these games that you can play with your friends, and whenever like you're feeling down, you want to play them, and it's always, it's always fun. You always like have a good time when you play those games, and I think that's why this console and the ones that Nintendo will make in the future will always work, because they know their exclusives, like they know their Mario games, their Smash games, their Zelda games, and all these well-known franchise, and they know how to capitalize on them.
I'm
So
gonna play the devil's advocate right there. The Zeldas, the Smash Bros, the Mario Karts, even them, they couldn't save the Wii U.
Yeah, because it wasn't fun.
The games
It-
were fun though.
yeah,
no,
but I mean, it was just you had the Wii. The Wii sold itself just because it was cheap, and people were going like, "Hey, let's do Wii parties," and people would come over and they would play Mario
Tennis!
Kart and tennis and that was so successful. Anytime you had adults playing it, you had everybody was playing it, and then they were like, "Okay, what's the new one? Wii U. What the fuck?
yeah, the marketing was trash. Gotta
It
say it.
was trash.
Most people thought it was a tablet you bought for your Wii.
Exactly. So people were just confused, didn't know what the hell it was. There was no game, maybe games came out, but slowly. But they were nothing. Wow! And then
Yeah, and
then
you said like Zelda and Mario they didn't save the Wii U, but like, correct me if I'm wrong, but there was no Zelda game. I mean, like a main Zelda game for this console, a main 3D Mario game, or a Metroid game. Wink, wink.
Yeah,
Momo.
yeah. To the people
So I
who
mean,
don't know, Metroid is a very, very near and dear franchise to me. So yeah.
but yeah, so you've got like this console. It didn't say this console, but I mean, they didn't make the games like for the Wii. I mean, for the Wii, we've got two Zelda games for the Wii. I mean, how great is that? And then
Incredible.
yeah, when you look at the Wii U, they didn't even make one, and there was no, as I said, no Mario game, and they did the Smash game, which was a nice one. I mean, we had a lot of fun times with Smash 4, but
Over 800
yeah.
hours.
Yeah,
We played a
definitely.
lot of Smash.
Yeah, we played a lot of Smash. I think that there was a part. I think this part of my life can be summed up to playing Smash and studying. I think it was like my only two activities during that time.
Oh boy. So yeah, if you want some people that coach you, right, Kyle? We're here, man. We know everything there is to know.
yeah,
Almost.
But
Almost.
soon, sucks because of COVID and stuff. So
Oh my god.
that it's gonna be in a bit there. I think that before we're gonna be able to play some Smash together. But
Yeah,
yeah,
because as you guys know, COVID is a problem. Like, we have first world problems where we were organizing stuff to meet up and to have a good time, but we can't. But at least we're not dead, right? So it's pretty good. Other than that, we could play online, but I refuse. Not because, like, it's more of a principle, right? To me, if I pay my internet service provider money every month to have internet, and my console can connect to that network and benefit from me paying my ISP money to give me internet, I should be able to play over the internet, but I have to pay extra. Nintendo wasn't like that. It wasn't like that in the Wii U generation and before. But they saw how much money they were leaving on the table with Sony and Microsoft with their earnings report. They make some bank off that subscription.
yeah.
So who could blame them except me?
True that. True that. We'll see. I'm it'll be fun to see what happens in the few couple of years of gaming there. I'm interested to see.
Do you believe in cloud gaming, boys?
Yeah, sure, why not? Like in the, if you would have told me that, a couple years ago, like there was that PlayStation Now that came out and I had tried it and I was like, oof, that's
Boy,
rough.
is it trash.
Yeah. Well, I'd be like, no, I don't think so. However, I've seen there's, some examples of it working quite well. And I know with technology evolving nonstop, I think they're gonna find a way to have, connections that are insane that
Mhm.
will be able to enjoy that there. So we'll see, I guess.
What's your position on that, Jackie?
Well, we started this podcast speaking about, is it just going to be a new generation?
Hmm.
Is it just that a new generation of consoles? But when you look at the games like we did at the beginning, I mean, it's a weak launch, and of course, like the developers and the third parties are going to work harder and use the power of the consoles to provide great games. So this is similar to what we've seen in the past. But I think what's different for this generation is that the companies are going to test their customers. Because when you look at, for example, what Microsoft is offering with their Netflix-like, um,
Game
catalogs
Pass.
of games, yeah, Game Pass,
And should I
and when you look at,
precise, they also have a service called Xbox xCloud, which is like PS Now that they have been working on these past few years, and it's a service they will actively push in the future. So yeah, continue.
yeah, so yeah, when you look at that, and I think you said it, but it's which series? There's like one of the two series that doesn't have like the disk drive.
Let me just make sure because I think both of them have.
Yeah, both Xbox and PlayStation have.
Okay. Well, so you've got the two series. They have their disk drive, but they offer I forget every time what's it called,
The
the
Xbox
Netflix,
Series. Oh no, the Game Pass. The
the
Xbox
Game
Game
Pass.
Pass.
So they offer that. They offer the Game Pass, and Sony is offering one console with a lower price, $100 less, without the disk drive. So I think,
By the way, I messed up. The Xbox Series S doesn't have a disk drive.
yeah, well, this is where I was going. This is where I was going at. It's that this generation, I think they're going to test the customers, and they're going to see, well, do our customers are willing to pay less to remove the disk drive and to just have the console and to play online. And this is going to have a great impact on this whole gaming philosophy. And this is what I like. If we speak about iCloud gaming, I think we're making steps towards it with this generation, and this is why I would say it's not just another new generation. I think that with this one, they're going to test their customers and see what do the people want, and if the majority of the customers are willing to buy the console without the disk drive, I think it's going to say a lot about what's coming for the next years, and what they're going to do with the iCloud gaming.
I think you put the nail right on the right spot because this generation, to me, is the last generation of physical media.
You think?
I'm
I 100% think that's
Oh,
Yeah,
you think that?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
I think I could say almost 100% sure.
So PS6, no disk drive, according
No,
to you.
nothing physical. You won't be able to go to Walmart and buy something that you insert in the console. You will be able to buy codes or something like that, but nothing like a cart or a CD or yeah.
I think
That's
it's funny to say because, of course, it wasn't planned this way. But, you know, with the crisis that we're living through, actually, at the moment, I I don't know. It's kind of connected in the sense that people are not willing to go out and buy the game, like you said, like going to Walmart or GameStop and you go get your game and then you bring it back home. I think a lot of people change, because I'm one of those people. This summer, I wanted to buy a game, and usually what I do is I go buy it and I get the physical copy. But this year, I just bought it online because of the whole COVID thing.
yeah.
So yeah, well, me, I don't know. I thought there would be more time before before.
I thought the same thing for the earphone jacks for on your phone. I was like, no, this is not gonna catch on. No, who the fuck wants that? And then Apple continued to do it year after year. Next thing you know, when I have to buy myself a phone, well, there's no more iPhone jacks. So you're like, shit. So
You gotta
I
buy
just
an
feel
adapter or go with the AirPods.
exactly. So I think that's maybe the way it's gonna go.
Yeah, and would you be hurt, guys? That's another question.
No, not at all.
Kyle be like, nope.
No, but I do like, I get it, people that like to have um you know a collection, on their wall with tons of games, and I used to be that kind of person. And then at one point I just if I started buying games on because like, not like we didn't have COVID, but it was like, I don't know, it's too far away, the GameStop. I'll just go to the pharmacy just beside, buy some prepaid Visa card, and let me use that.
Yeah,
And it was so much easier that I liked it. I
the
liked it. I liked
convenience, man.
Yeah, and then you start playing PC games, and it's even worse. Who buys games you put on CDs for PC? Never. You
Nah,
only buy
never,
them
never.
online. So I got so used to that I'm like, whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't have a collection anymore, so who cares?
I mean,
So I don't
just
really
to add
care.
salt, right? My PC case doesn't leave me with the option to put a disk drive. I can't, straight up. I would have to hook it up with some kind of USB or something like that. But yeah, times have changed. On PC, it's mostly digital, if not all. And it seems
Never
that
ever bought a game
in
online.
consoles are getting pretty much like the same. Since the PS4, to me, now we're on PCs, everyone.
Yeah, mostly. I think it just, everybody realized that it was the best one to be on. It just the
Yeah,
fast,
not even
hungry.
just that, right? What I meant was that some people chose to go consoles,
Yeah,
but they actually got a PC, if you see what I mean. It's
true,
not too far
true.
different
Yeah,
from it's actually
no,
the same. So except you don't have the option to do whatever you want with it, right? You are stuck to doing what the manufacturer set your console to do, and nothing else
yeah, true,
until you crack it.
true, true.
Well. So cloud gaming. My opinion on it is that it's gonna replace gaming, any other form of gaming in the future, but not soon. To me, it's far from being what we want and what the people can afford, and not just in the money sense of the term. I think not everyone has great internet connection, and I think if you like fighting games like me, there is absolutely zero way possible you could say, yeah, I definitely would hop on cloud gaming. Like, we already suffer enough from lag. Add to that cloud gaming, bro. Super responsive games are going to need that technological leap before we jump ship.
True.
But they
I
might not
agree
exist. They might die before then, because now what's selling are live services, games where there is no end, right? There is only daily grind. You connect, you go online. What are the dailies? Becomes much like a chore, and you buy a battle pass or a pass for that season, and you paid money, right? Quite a bit of money, but you don't have that content when you pay the money. You have to grind to get that content, which is insane to me. And yeah, loot boxes, of course. Yeah, everyone loves their virtual casinos, especially in kids' games like FIFA, where it's accessible to everyone. That's where you want to put them.
make the most money.
It's crazy, man. We should talk about that maybe another time. We've been going for quite a while, and we still have our new section where we review a movie we all watched. How do we call that section, guys?
We'll call it the homework. I think like this week we want to do like a movie, but maybe who knows? Maybe and next week it will be something else, like an article or the
A
first
game,
episode to
right?
a game, episodes
Very,
to
very
a
small game like that
series.
can be
Yeah,
completed
so I
in.
think we'll call it the homework, and so like we will just like give you a title of a game or a movie or a TV series, and you just look at it, and then in the next week we can speak about it, and so you know what we're talking about. So the homework for this week is actually a movie. I don't think we'll review it today. I think we'll review it like next week, because we spoke a lot about the new generation of consoles this week. So
Yeah.
maybe next week we can speak about the movie. But yeah, maybe Kyle, since you introduced us to this movie, you would like to present it and to
Sell it a little bit to the
sell it to the
viewers.
people.
All right, sure. So it's a horror movie. I don't like horror movies. I actually hate them. I am scared shitless, and I think in this call, I think there's one that feels the same way, and the other one is maybe not a super fan of it, but it doesn't hate it. And yeah, so I don't like it, and I was forced to watch it, so I watched it, and I actually enjoyed it. Yeah, I was. It is scary, and in my opinion, I was dreaming about this for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks after I seen it. But I still found it was different. I've seen some horror movies before, and they were so. They were good, but not amazing. But this one was the right amount of scariness with the way it was filmed, the story, the acting, everything. I really enjoyed it. Now, it's not a perfect movie. I wouldn't even put it close to my top 50 movies, but it was still an enjoyable and different viewing than what I'm used to watching. So the movie is called, and this is the only English word that I always struggle with, but it's hereditary.
Hereditary, yeah.
Whatever.
Hereditary.
I don't know. For
UK
some
boys.
reason, I have no problems, but for that fucking word, I can't. I can't. I can't pronounce it. Anyway, so yeah, watch it, and we'll talk about it next week.
They
See
can
what
watch it on
everybody-
Netflix, right?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
Yeah, all right. So this is going to be the homework for this week. We'll watch it, and then we'll come back next week and review it and give our thoughts on it.
Yeah, we'll be eager to hear that. And yeah, scary movies, not my cup of tea, but who knows? Maybe it will stick.
All right, so I guess that's all.
That's all,
You know-
man. It's been a great podcast, I think. How did you like it for your first time, Kyle?
Yeah, it was cool. Just got to talk, so that's fun. That's always fun. That's always enjoyable. So,
I mean, it's not much different from when we talk normally.
no, it's not. But I don't know. There's still that little. Look, probably we're gonna put this out, and there's gonna be one or two people listening to it. But it just feels weird that private conversations is not it's not private anymore. But it's just this little weird feeling where there might be someone that's gonna listen, and so just different than what I'm used to.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Just know that I do have someone that really likes the podcast and that follows us. So shout outs
Alright,
to
that's
you,
cool.
Toa.
Shout out.
And yeah, you'll tell him. You'll tell him that it's okay, man. It's okay, and you'll like it.
Yeah,
So-
exactly. We'll all get used to it, and
It'll
Well, I
get
think
better
we'll-
with time, and you can already see the upgrade from episode 1 to now. So,
all right.
Jackie,
Alright.
Well, I think I'll leave the closing words to you, but yeah, I think it went well. So, of course, like sometimes we're struggling with pronouncing words and everything, but with time it will get better. I mean, now that we have Kyle, I think it will be even better. Now that it's the three of us, I think we've got
the confidence
great
boost.
team.
Yup.
Yeah, the confidence boost, and yeah.
Yeah. Now, just you guys should just wait for an episode where we get to talk about The Last of Us or how old games should stay in the past and die. I'm joking. I don't really believe that one. I just wanted to get a rise. So
You guys will see, man. It will get heated. That's for sure. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah, well,
stay tuned for the next episode of the Container Podcast. It's been your host, Momo, and
Jackie.
Kyle. I didn't know what was going
He
on.
wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
he wasn't ready. Until next time, ciao ciao.
Bye-bye.